Today we are going to build on the lesson that we did previously on how to find a missing angle for complementary and supplementary angles. Today our focus is going to be on a triangle. How can I find a missing angle inside any triangle? The first thing we need to know is that in all triangles, the three angles will always add up to be 180 degrees. So it doesn't matter which triangle I pick in the diagrams below, they all equal 180 degrees. It doesn't matter if they're big, if they're small, all of them will equal 180 degrees. The first example we're going to look at is fairly simple. They are giving me the bottom left measurement of 30 degrees, the bottom right measurement of 110 degrees, and where the X is, that's the amount I need to know. So we're going to start out with saying every triangle, no matter what, is 180 degrees. Just like in the previous video, I'm going to take each one of these angle measurements and I'm going to write them as an equation, adding to equal the total of 180. So the first angle I'm going to use is 30 degrees, plus the next angle I'm going to use is 110 degrees, plus the last angle that's up at the top is just X for right now. And again, those three angles need to add up to be 180. When solving equations, we split them in half, so we have a left and a right. On the left side, I have a 30 and a 110. These are normal numbers, so I can go ahead and combine these together. 30 plus 110 is 140, plus I still have that 1x. All of those still add up to be 180 degrees. Now this question says 140 plus another number is a total of 180 degrees. Some people might recognize the answer to this right away because it's a pretty simple question, but if you need to take it a step further, the last step would be subtract 140 from both sides. These two would cancel out, so then all we have is x equals, and 180 minus 140 is 40. So the missing angle that I'm looking for right up here at the top would be 40 degrees. And this would be our final answer. X equals 40. The second example that we're going to do in the video is slightly more detailed. We have in the bottom left hand corner just an X, which is similar to the one before. The angle at the top is 24, so I know that's an exact amount. And then the bottom right hand corner says 2x. So before we go any further, we're going to say that every triangle is 180 degrees, no matter what the size or shape. Then, just like before, I'm going to take each angle measurement. I'm going to put them in an equation, adding the three angles together, and then set it equal to 180 degrees. The first angle is X. The second angle is 2X. And the third angle is 24. And together, all three of them should add up to be 180. Solving equations, I'm going to split it in half, a left side and a right side. This time I have two values that have x's with them. I can combine them. This first one is just an x, so that is 1x. Then it says I have two x's. So 1 plus 2 makes me have 3 x's, and I still have the number 24. That is, again, equal to 180 degrees. Now we're at the point where we are going to probably need to work backwards. This one isn't as easy to tell. The answer, 3 times a number plus 24 more gives me 180. So when you work backwards, you should do the opposite. Instead of adding 24, I want to subtract 24. 24 minus 24 cancels out. So I still have my 3x, 3 times something. And on the far right, I'm going to subtract 180 minus 24. And that should be 156. So I'm going to shrink this so I have room to do the last step. If you happen to know 3 times a number that equals 156, that's fine. Most people probably are going to need to divide this out. So I'm going to make a division question. 3 divided into 156. All right, 3 can go into 15 5 times. That's a perfect match. I'm going to bring down the 6. 3 can go into 6 2 times, which is also a perfect match. No remainder. So the value that I need, I'm going to say x equals 52. Each one of these x values, this one x by itself is 52. This says I have 2 x's, so I would double it. But our question really just wants us to find out how much is 1x worth. So on my line, I would say 1x was worth 52. So the thing you need to remember about this one is I'm combining these x's together when I set up my equation to say I have 3 x's. The last example we're going to work out together has one angle listed as specifically 25. The bottom angle looks like a previous question that we did in another video. It says 3x plus 11. And then the angle up at the top has a little square in it. If you look at this. We've already talked about what does the square tell you. The square tells you, perfect, if someone guessed it, 90 degrees. Okay, the whole entire triangle, still just like all the other ones, no matter the size or shape, is 180 degrees. I'm going to use these 3 quantities, 25, 90, and 3x plus 11, to set up my equation and then solve it. It doesn't matter the order you put them in, but I'm going to start with 90 plus 25 plus 3x plus 11. And I'm going to make that be my 3 angles, adding up to be 180 degrees. I'm going to draw my line to separate left and right. As you can tell, this equation has a ton of numbers, so I want to combine the ones that can fit together. 90 is a normal number, 25 is a normal number, and 11 is a normal number. I need to put those 3 numbers together, so I'm going to add them up on the side. 90 plus 25 plus 11. 5 plus 1 is 6. 9 plus 2 is 11. Plus 1 more is 12. So those 3 numbers add up to be 126. I still have my 3x. So I'm going to put that in. And then still make it all equal 180 degrees. Shrink that so we have some more space. If we keep going, the next step I need to do is, instead of adding 126, I need to subtract 126 from the left side and the right side. I'm going to try to keep it balanced. 126 minus 126 cancels out. I still have 3 x's. And now my total, I need to look at 180 minus 26 is 54. Again, the last step we need to do is find out 3 times a number is 54. And those numbers are kind of small, so some people might know it, but I'm going to go ahead and divide it out just to make sure. 3 divided into 54. 3 can go into 5 one time. That's 3. So I'm going to subtract and get 2 left over. Bring down my 4. So now I'm going to try and divide 3 into 24. That should be 8. And 3 times 8 is a perfect match of 24. So the answer that I got for 1x is 18. So again, if I really had to figure out the measurement, I would put an 18 right here and say 3 times 18 and then add 11 for this specific degree. But our question just says, tell me how much the 1x is worth. So really on this line, all I need to write is the answer I got when I solved the question, which is 18. Hopefully this video helped you understand how to use triangles and find a missing angle. And the rest of the problems that are on your assignment are for you to do by yourself. If you need any extra help, please ask. And enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have an awesome weekend. I'll see you Monday.